Arthur Xavier received a secret message on a chilly, fog-laden evening in Doskvol, a city perpetually cloaked in twilight. The message was brief but laden with urgency. Urgent intel, artifact exchange, Elias Wren involved. Ciphers and circle. Meet for details. J. The content of the note was unmistakable. Elias Wren, a figure of considerable renown and mystery, was tangled up in a potentially explosive situation. Arthur, accustomed to navigating the murky waters of the city's underbelly, turned to his ally, Syloki. They stood in a narrow alley, surrounded by the oppressive weight of looming brick walls and the cold mist that snaked through the cobblestones. Arthur showed Syloki the message, his eyes sharp and expectant. Syloki, illuminated intermittently by the flickering light of a nearby lamppost, took in the contents of the note with a growing intensity. Her face, partially shadowed, betrayed a flicker of unease. Elias Wren. Syloki's voice was a low murmur, her brow furrowing as she considered the implications. He's been showing up in the strangest places lately. It looks like he's involved in something far beyond his usual dealings. Arthur's eyes narrowed, his expression reflecting a grim understanding. If Elias is involved, it means the artifact in question must be of significant value or power. The ciphers and the circle of flame don't typically mix without a reason. Syloki nodded, her gaze scanning the shadows as if seeking more answers from the darkness itself. We need to act swiftly. Do you have a plan? Arthur's demeanor was resolute. We need precision and stealth. Let's stake out the rendezvous point and observe. We can make our move once we have enough information on how the exchange is to be conducted. Syloki's eyes met Arthur's with a shared resolve. Sounds like a plan. Let's get moving. Their footsteps echoed in the quiet night as they made their way through Doskvol's winding streets. The city's heart was a dark labyrinth, where the buildings seemed to lean inwards, creating a sense of suffocating intimacy. As they approached the rendezvous point, a hidden meeting ground tucked away in Crow's Foot, they found themselves shrouded in an eerie stillness. The area was a den of secrecy, with shadows merging and undulating as though alive. The occasional murmur of voices and the faint rustling of clothing hinted at the presence of several figures in the shadows. Suddenly, a stray cat, perhaps startled by their presence, darted out from behind a nearby crate, its high-pitched yowl slicing through the night's silence. The figures in the shadows froze, and then, like specters disturbed from their haunt, they scattered into the darkness. Syloki and Arthur stood in stunned silence, the opportunity to glean vital information slipping away. Syloki's frustration was palpable. Damn it, we've lost our chance. Elias was here, but now he's gone. Arthur's face mirrored her frustration. We were so close. We need to regroup and figure out our next move. Syloki's eyes were sharp as she turned to Arthur. There's no time to waste. Elias Wren is in the middle of something significant, and it's not good for Doskvol. Arthur's expression hardened. I've crossed paths with Elias before. He's always been slippery and untrustworthy. Why are you so certain he's involved? Syloki's tone was unyielding. I've seen the emblem before, the same one that appeared in the message you received. Elias is deeply involved in cipher business, and it's clear he's up to something dangerous. Arthur's jaw tightened as he absorbed Syloki's words. If Elias is involved, this could escalate quickly. We can't ignore it. Syloki nodded, determination etched in her features. Exactly. I need your help to dig deeper. With your connections and expertise, we might uncover the truth behind the artifact and its significance. Arthur's resolve softened, his concern evident. I've had a nagging suspicion about that artifact from the beginning. Let's combine our efforts and get to the bottom of this. As they regrouped, Arthur and Syloki began to piece together their next steps. Arthur's subsequent investigation into the mind-erasing incidents revealed a growing web of deceit. His efforts were multifaceted. He gathered information from various sources, interviewed witnesses, and analyzed the disturbing patterns that emerged from the memory loss cases. Arthur met with Lonnik, the leader of the ciphers, in a dimly lit backroom, the air thick with cigarette smoke and the scent of old leather. Lannik's office was cluttered with maps and documents, each one a testament to the intricate web of intrigue that characterized their world. Arthur, Lonnik greeted him, his voice gravelly but authoritative. "What have you found?" Arthur laid out his findings with precision. "There's a new chemical weapon involved, and it's not the Circle's usual modus operandi. We need to understand who's pulling the strings and why." Lannik's eyes narrowed as he reviewed the data. "We're looking at a significant threat here. The Circle's reliance on fear and fire is well known. A chemical weapon changes the game." Arthur nodded. "Exactly. We need to explore new alliances and reinforce existing ones. We must also scrutinize Elias's involvement more closely. He's been unreliable in the past." Lonnik leaned back in his chair, considering the implications. "Agreed. Let's make sure we're covering all bases. We can't afford any missteps." Meanwhile, Syloki's pursuit of Elias led her to a critical moment. During a carefully planned stakeout, she and Arthur set a trap for a member of the Circle of Flame. Their patience was rewarded when a figure approached the meeting spot. Syloki's eyes were sharp with focus as she and Arthur moved into position. As they confronted the Circle member, Syloki's voice was commanding yet calm. "You're coming with us. We need information about the device." The captive, struggling beneath their grip, looked between them with fear and defiance. "I don't know what you're talking about." Arthur's voice was low and menacing. "Don't waste our time. What's the purpose of the device?" Syloki stepped closer, her presence imposing. "We know it's a prototype for a new chemical weapon. Why is the Circle of Flame interested?" The captive's defiance faltered as he confessed. "It's a delivery device for a chemical weapon. It's not our usual approach. The Circle prefers fear and fire." Arthur's expression darkened with the revelation. "This is more serious than we thought." Syloki's mind raced with the implications. If this weapon isn't standard for the Circle, someone else must be involved. We need to identify them. As the captive was released into the shadows, Arthur and Syloki shared a silent acknowledgement of their daunting task. The weight of their discovery hung heavy in the air. Syloki clasped Arthur's forearm, her eyes meeting him with a determined gaze. "We'll uncover the truth, Arthur. Together." Arthur's nod was firm, his resolve unwavering. "We'll keep each other updated. We can't afford any surprises." With their pact sealed, they parted ways, their footsteps fading into the labyrinthine streets of Doskvol. The echoes of their resolve lingered, a testament to their shared commitment. In the days that followed, Arthur's strategic planning and Syloki's relentless investigation paid off. Arthur met with Lonnik to finalize their strategy. Lannik's office was filled with the hum of activity, as Cypher's operatives worked to gather intelligence and form alliances. Lonnik was direct. "Arthur, we need to act quickly. The new weapon could shift the balance of power in Doskvol. We need to be prepared for all contingencies." Arthur nodded, his mind racing with the possibilities. "Agreed. I've identified potential allies and outlined a plan. We need to ensure our strategy is flexible and responsive." Lonnik reviewed the plan with a critical eye. "This is solid. Just be ready for anything. The Circle of Flame won't take kindly to interference." Arthur's expression was resolute. "We'll be ready." Syloki, meanwhile, continued her investigation, delving into the mind-erasing incidents and Bruce Wallen's role. Her efforts, though challenging, led to significant breakthroughs. She encountered numerous obstacles but persisted, driven by a determination to protect Doskvol. As the pieces of the puzzle fell into place, both Arthur and Syloki stood as a bulwark against the encroaching darkness. Their collaboration, resilience, and unwavering commitment underscored their dedication to uncovering the truth and safeguarding their city from the shadows that threatened to engulf it.